תזרח השמש, נדע ימים יפים ואלה, הלב נלחם בעד האדום. כולם יחזרו הביתה, נחכה להם למטה, הלוואי נדע בשורות טובות. ים הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שיצטרפו המלחמות. עם ישראל חי, אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים. עם ישראל חי,
Welcome back to Dalet Amot, Shel Halacha Eno LaKadosh Baruch Hu Ba'olama Ela Arba Amot, Shel Halacha Belvad. This will be part 7 of the Shiur. We're going to try to do today B'li Neder in Dibra Matchil in the Biur Halacha Ulekabel Achar Kach Tanit Alav. I'm going to try to make this Biur Halacha into 2 parts because it's pretty long. They're 2 different scenarios, but 1 topic. So we'll try to do 2 separate parts Be'ezrat Hashem. Before we do that, we want to answer the 2 questions we had asked in the previous class. Question number 1, a person needs to fly out on Motzei Shabbat. Can he daven during Ben Hashmashot, Aravit, and do Havdalah without the candle and without the Besamim, and then wait for Shabbat to end, and then get in the car and go to the terminal? Second case, if a person accepted upon himself a fast during Mincha, to fast that same night and the following day, then he went after Mincha, once he accepted the fast, after Plaga Mincha, he went and he davened Aravit. He has another, let's say, 40 minutes to go. So we said, like we saw in the previous class, he has up until sunset. But are we going to also give him the twilight period? These 2 questions we had asked in the previous class. Please refer back to the previous class to get a more broader understanding of what is going on over here. Or wait until we begin the class for today. I spoke to Rabbi David Davidov about these 2 questions. On both of them, Rabotai went back and forth in Siman Rishat Gimel and in Halacha Gimel with Achronim and Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef Shlita. Bottom line is, a person who has to catch a plane is allowed to go ahead and daven Aravit of Motzei Shabbat after Ben Hashmashot of Shabbat, but not during twilight, meaning not after sunset until when the 3 stars come out. Even though there's room for leniency, just because of what the Achronim wrote and what Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef Shita said, we're going to be a little bit more machmir. Because remember, Rabotai, if you could easily daven Aravit in the terminal and to do Havdalah in the terminal, so why aren't you doing it there? We're speaking about a case where you're not going to be able to do it. For whatever reason, Rabotai. You're not going to be able to have kavanah, or you're not going to be able to get the wine, whatever this, right? Because past the terminal, they don't allow you to bring in liquids. There are situations where it's you can't. You're not going to be able to daven, and you're not going to be able to have the wine. So, Rabbi David told me, over here, for sure going to allow you to daven after Ben Hashmashot, once the stars come out, even though Shabbat hasn't ended, but not during twilight. Even though you could be lenient over there, but that he said you should ask your local rabbi if he should allow you to be lenient, because we saw in the previous class with the Achronim and Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef Shlita arguing on the Shulchan Aruch when it came davening during the day. But maybe Ben Hashmashot is Safik Yom, Safik Laila. Maybe it's day, maybe it's night. So if it's really day, we have the power of the Achronim and Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef. So that's why you shouldn't do it. In any event, Rabotai, if you need to really do it, it doesn't make sense why you would need to do it, because you have to remember, if let's say Shabbat comes in at 4:10, Shabbat comes out at 5:10 the following day. If we go 4:10 plus 18 minutes, that gives me 4:28. That's when sunset is. Give me right now, it's about every seasonal minute is about 11, 12 minutes. So let's say from 4:28, another give me 12 minutes till 4:40. From 4:28 till 4:40, you want to go ahead and daven over the Arevit, and you want to do Havdalah there. Why in the world would you want to do Arevit and Havdalah there, where you still have from 4:40 till 5:10, you have another half an hour that Shabbat is not out? So that's why there's no reason for you to do it during Ben Hashmashot. Do it after Ben Hashmashot, and don't forget that you still have 30 minutes for Shabbat. You can't light the candle. You don't do Bisamim. You're going to daven Arevit. Then you're going to do Havdalah. Well, when you're already on the way, you could do it on the candle. Excuse me. You could do it on the candle and then on the Bisamim. Right? You want to try to buy yourself some time. That's going to be the case when it comes to the flying situation on Motzei Shabbat. What about the second case, Rabotai, that we spoke about? If a person accepts upon himself the fast on Mincha and then he down Arvit after Plaka Mincha, when is he not allowed to eat anymore? So this case also we're going to have to go with the Mishnah Berurah, Rabotai. When the Mishnah Berurah said, just like we had the case by Shabbat, we're going to apply the same case by the weekday. And the Mishnah Berurah did say by Shabbat, and it's possible that the fast does begin during twilight, which is Suffolk night. So it comes out over here, a person during the weekday accepted upon himself, Rabotai, pay close attention to what I'm saying. He accepted upon himself to fast that same night and the following day. That's what I'm saying, night and day. Not tomorrow, not only during the day, night and day together. Because if it's only tomorrow, the whole thing doesn't play a game, because I still could eat the whole night until dawn. You understand? That's what I'm saying, night and day. Rabotai, listen to the previous class. There's a lot that goes in here, and I want you guys to make sure that you have it clear. In any event, we're going to say a person who went ahead and accepted upon himself the fast by Mincha to not eat the following night and day, we're going to tell him that the fast kicks in for him by sunset. So if a person wants to go ahead and he wants to eat after davening Arevit after Plaga Mincha, he has to make sure whatever time he has left up until sunset, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever time he has left, you can eat the whole time, just like by the case of Shabbat. Once sunset kicks in, you're not allowed to eat. Okay, Rabotai, with that we do answer two of our questions that we had asked in the previous class. Moving on to today's subject. We began speaking in the Ramah, if he does not have other people by him, meaning, right, if there's nobody else that's going to be able to do Havdalah for him on Motzei Shabbat, we said over here, he's able to go ahead and do the Havdalah on Shabbat during the day and to drink. But this is what we want to focus on now. And to accept afterwards the fast on him. Now, Rabotai, you have to understand, why did the Ramah tell me right now, I have to go ahead and accept afterwards the fast on myself? Didn't we already accept the fast by Mincha? Or didn't we already accept the fast making a vow prior to this? Why is the Ramah telling me you have to go back and accept the fast on yourself again? So this is what we want to see today, Be'ezrat Hashem B'Leneder, in the Bi'ur Halacha. You know, before I do the Bi'ur Halacha, let me just try to explain to you outside, so maybe it will be easier once we do it inside. We're going to see today, we're going to learn today that the Ramah is introducing a new concept. We know that there's such a thing that you're accepting the fast by Mincha. Right? A person wants to accept the fast by Mincha for the following day, for the following night, whatever it's going to be, doesn't matter. But you accept the fast by Mincha for future. But there's another thing. When you're accepting the fast for now, not to allow you to continue eating from now. And that's what the Ramah is really going on. He's not going to tell you, we're going to see the Bi'ur Halacha, he's not going to tell you to go ahead and start re-accepting the fast. That's impossible. Because you already accepted it during Mincha, or if you took a vow, like we saw in the previous class. We speak about over here that even though you took even though you accepted upon yourself that fast by mincha or through the vow prior to that, you already have the fast coming to you. Still, the Ramah requires you to go ahead and accept upon yourself another fast. That means there are going to be two fasts that you have to accept upon yourself. One during mincha for the actual fast that you're going to fast eventually, and one on the actual fast when you have to fast, you have to accept upon yourself that you are no longer allowed to eat or drink anymore from this time and on. Alright, we're going to see this B'ezrat Hashem B'Neder in the Bi'ur Halacha. Okay. We are in Dibra Matchil Ulekabel Acher Kacha Tanit Allah. When the Ramah says that he should go and accept afterwards the fast on him, comes the Biur Halacha and he says, Hadavar Pashut. The thing is simple. Dehach Kabbalah Lav Kabbalat Hatanit B'Milchahi. That Kabbalah, that acceptance of the fast that he's doing is not the acceptance of the fast that he has to do during mincha. It's not the first acceptance. Like I told you, there's two acceptance. I'll use it like that, first and second. It's not the first acceptance where he went and he accepted during mincha for the following day. Why? The peshita shikvar hitpalel mincha mikoidim. Because it's simple that he already davened mincha prior to this, like we've been learning this whole time. Mikodim Shiv, the prior to when he did Havdalah, because that's what the Mishabur said in Sivka de Chavbet. A person with the head, he daven mincha, then after Plaga mincha, before you do Havdalah, you have to even do Aravit. And then you can do Havdalah. So you see clearly, this fast cannot be going on accepting the fast doing mincha. Eila, but rather, so what are you speaking about over here? What kind of fast? What kind of accepting of the fast? Eila hacha kabbalah ta'anit mamash ka'amar. Rather, he's speaking about accepting the actual fast, meaning le'aser ba'achila misha'a zo, to forbid him from eating from this time. And we saw in the Mishnah Berurah, when was that, Abotai? Just right now we did it also in Simchat Chavbet from Ben Hashmashot. It's possible also from Ben Hashmashot, and that's how we're going to hold halacha. You're not allowed to eat already after sunset. So that's what the Biur Halacha is telling us over here. It's telling us over here that when the Ramah says ulekabel acher kacha tanit alav, to go ahead and accept afterwards the fast on him, it is not going on the acceptance during the mincha time, but rather is going on the accepting the tanit on the actual day itself when you have to fast. What are you accepting upon yourself? Not to eat anymore. That it's forbidden for you to eat and drink from now and on, meaning from sunset and on. Now, Rabotai, we have to understand. Now the Ramah, now the Biur Halacha is going to continue. He's going to explain why can't you go ahead. Excuse me. Now the Biur Halacha is going to explain why can't you go ahead and tell me that one should even start fasting earlier than Ben Hashmashot? Because remember, what did we say? A person went ahead and he davened Aravit after Plaga Mincha. Then he went and he did Havdalah. Right? The Ramah said, let's do the way the Ramah says. You go with the Mishnah Berurah, you daven Aravit, you do Havdalah, you drink the cup of wine, and then you accept upon yourself the fast. Why are we saying that before that period, right? Before the period of Ben Hashmashot, after he does Havdalah, let's say it should become a sur for him to even drink the kosher Havdalah. Let it become a sur for him to eat or drink anything once he did Havdalah. Let's say, give you an example, right? Let's go like this. Like we saw in the previous case, in Simchat Chav Aleph, he went, he did the Havdalah, and he gave it to somebody else. He doesn't have to necessarily drink it. He does Havdalah, and he'll give it to somebody else to drink it. But the problem over here, Rabotai, you could tell me now, it's a bad example because over here you could tell me that if there's somebody else, let them do it for Motzei Shabbat. Actually, that won't work out because let's say that somebody else has to leave by Motzei Shabbat, he's not going to be here. So there is a way that you're able to go around it. Let him do the Havdalah, give it to somebody else to drink, and now let it be forbidden for him to eat during that period until Ben Hashmashot. Why is the Mishnah Berurah only telling us from sunset and on it's asur to eat? But why not even before sunset? And this is what the Biur Halacha wants to cover today. He says like this: She'ava pishit palal mincha, even though he already prayed mincha, v'kibela ta'anit b'tefillah, and you accepted upon yourself the fast in the prayer of the Shemona Esrei, dahainu, which means to say, shikibel itanot kol gimel yamim ritzufim. A person accepted upon himself during mincha time to fast 3 consecutive days, not nights, only days. Mikol makom, nevertheless, hayam mutar lo le'echol kol halayla. Nevertheless, he's going to be allowed to go ahead and eat every single night. A person wants to accept upon himself not to eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no problem. Sunday night, he's allowed to eat. Monday night, he's allowed to eat. Tuesday night, he's allowed to eat. He said, I don't want to eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday during the day. I didn't say anything about night. So we see clearly over here, you're allowed to go ahead and eat. Kedin ta'anit nidavar da'ama. Just like the halakha is going to require you by a general fast, sheholech ve'ochel kol halayla, where a person goes ahead and he eats the whole night, afa pishi kebala ta'anit, even though you went ahead and you accepted the fast rate on yourself. V'kan sherotzeh litanot gimel yamim v'gimel leilot, but in our case, Rabotai, where you want to go ahead and you want to fast now 3 days and 3 nights, haya mutar al kol panim lechol ad ben hashmashot. But at the very least, he's going to be allowed to go ahead and eat until sunset. Don't tell me that he should even fast before sunset. Vika Amar, and that's what the Rama said. Di mavdil mi be'od yom veshoter. Let him go ahead and do the havdalah during the day, and then drink the wine. Umikabel alav ta'anito. This is what he was telling, and then accept upon himself the fast. Which kind of fast, Rabotai? Le'aser ba'achila ushtiya me'ota sha'a. To forbid him to eat and drink from that moment, from after sunset. So you can't tell me right now, let him go ahead and fast before, let him go ahead and begin the fast right after Havdalah. You can't do that. That's what the Rama said. Let him do the Havdalah, let him go even drink, because you're allowed to go ahead and drink and eat until sunset. However, the Mishnah Berurah says, if you want to say, let him go ahead and fast during that period after Havdalah until Ben Hashmashot, until sunset, until Ben Hashmashot, he says, V'tzarich Kabbalah acheret l'shiyaser. You need another Kabbalah, a third Kabbalah. You need to accept upon yourself another accepting of the fast that you no longer want to eat during the day. I'm B'hilchot Tisha B'Av Yom Kippurim, look into halachot of the 9th of Av and the halachot of Yom Kippur. V'tir'eh davarim birurim u'muchrachim, and you'll see that these words are clear and compelling. Ad kan loshon ha'ma'amar Mordechai v'chen perish El Yerabah. Up to over here is the words of the Ma'amar Mordechai, and so too the El Yerabah with the head, and he explained like this. Comes out of here, Rabotai, from this Biur Halacha. Again, that's all we're going to stop right away, because the next case is going to bring us a different example. So we see from over here that when the Ramah said Ulikabel achar kach hatanit alav, he was not going on the Kabbalah that he would do during Mincha time. No, not that. Because he already davened Mincha. He already even davened Arevit after Plaga Mincha. So he cannot be going on Mincha time. Rather, this Kabbalah that the Ramah is speaking about is going by sunset. Once sunset kicks in, he has to go ahead and he has to re-accept. Not re-accept. He has to go ahead and he has to accept that now I understand that the food becomes usher on me. He has a second acceptance of the fast upon himself.